Gonna go for two here.
He's going for two.
If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in the position to win.
Got him! One-handed catch as he goes up and gets it.
Okay, welcome in, episode 16.
Like you never left.
Yeah. As you can see, I'm not digital anymore. I'm now sitting back in my normal spot, which means Kalen's in his normal spot being awkward and hating the Titans. And Chad's over there smiling because he's been talking about Kyler Murray for 10 fucking weeks.
Hey,
And
we got one, all right?
That's how we're... No, hey, they're in first place right now. Or they're tied for first. And right off the top, like, what about that game?
Wow.
When was the last time you saw it finish like that?
The whole
Last
game
night.
was fun. Yeah. My college years were wonderful.
I mean, a strong finish.
Oh, my bad.
No, the game itself was an awesome game. Like, it gave me everything I could have wanted out of the game and more, I think. Right?
Yeah, well, I mean, when it comes down to it, like, for Josh Allen to be able to take the team down, score 30 seconds left.
Beautiful touchdown. What a throw. I got to give him props on that.
It was to the point where, like, Cheryl had already counted the win on her pickup.
I think a lot of people did.
Yeah, she's like, yes! And then I kind of stopped watching because, honestly, like, when the Steelers are on, like, I have one focus. And
Yeah,
it's
I get it.
to criticize everything they're doing.
Yeah.
Just so they can get better. Like, Mike gives me a shout, and we make sure we don't fall into trap games. But,
Doesn't like them trap games. The Big Ten talk, too. I liked how he said that.
We're not there yet.
let's
Stop
worry
it.
about the Cardinals.
Okay, we'll get there.
Let's focus on the opponent in front
Can
of us.
I cut in for a second?
I don't see why not.
Yes.
I'm on the show, too.
Since
right?
it's your team, you love
Yeah.
those boys.
They're my team B.
In the NFC, same conference. Weird.
Yeah, whatever. Both my teams won this weekend. 1A and 1B.
Yeah.
My actual big things I took away from, besides the fact that D-Hop out jumped the world.
4XL gloves.
And then the other thing I saw was Patrick Peterson looks slow.
Yeah, that step on the touchdown.
Do you know what's not slow?
I have a feeling you're going to tell me.
Joe Cool's delivery if you order through the app. And keep in mind, Turkey Bowl is coming up, and that is a great way to spend Turkey Bowl.
Yeah, it beat me here, and I said that I was leaving before they did. So
Yeah,
pretty fast.
Exactly, but you know, I had to get that in there.
All right, so Joe Cool's delivery is just as quick as Stephon Diggs running a corner out.
Yeah.
That's what I got from this.
Right, essentially.
Patrick Peterson, for a long time, was one of the best shutdown corners in the league.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's getting up there in age. He didn't get beat by a move. He didn't get beat getting lost in coverage. It was man on man. He didn't get a hand on him.
I'll give him a bit of a break. That
You
arm
would.
that Josh
You
Allen
would.
has. Hey, come on. I think that would beat a lot of corners. I think, unfortunately,
Yeah.
right? It's a man beating.
Stephon Diggs just outran him.
Yeah,
And that's what it comes down to.
beautiful route.
Great route, and Stephon Diggs is a phenomenal route runner. I'll give him that. But Patrick Peterson is a guy that used to say, "Hey, I'm taking your best guy, and I'm going to do what I do today." And unfortunately, when the game mattered the most for them, he did not make that play, and he was even close.
Yeah.
Well, Diggs is a pretty underrated receiver when you actually like
Lead the
rate.
league.
When you rate receivers, if you went up to anybody and said, "Give me your top 5 receivers,"
No one
I
says
would-
Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, and I mean that includes the people sitting here because I'm not sure that I'm going to say Stephon Diggs, even though when you actually watch him play and you see the stats and you see how much he's affected the Bills' offense,
Yeah.
like definitely Josh Allen's taking another step, but the way you see it take it, that's a big deal.
Yeah,
How does he feel though after he gets that beautiful touchdown? He celebrates like that in Arizona's home, and they just go.
This
right
is
down the
why
field.
you paid me. Is what he said.
Yeah.
And then D Hop's like, "Hold my fucking beer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna out jump the galaxy here."
Yeah.
And did you guys see
Which-
he wears Jumpman gloves?
Oh yeah, and what an ad for them, eh?
Yeah. Like, oh, by the way,
That's
Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
By the way, you can pay me now too.
Yeah.
After I negotiated my first contract, I'm gonna make the fucking play of the year
Yeah.
with your logo in that photo.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys think that the Cardinals are now the favorite to win the West?
If they keep rolling the way they are, I mean, Seattle has only taken a dive in the last few
Seattle
weeks.
can't stop anybody.
Yeah.
Ross is now turning the ball over.
He's actually threw like the first 3 weeks he threw 103 touchdowns, and then through week 4 to now he's only throwing 111. So like he's really slowed down his production for sure. And it seems to be he's trying to force DK.
Oh,
A
yeah,
lot.
those moonshots, right?
Yeah, he's trying to.
People are falling into it. They know what's happening now with those fucking moonshots.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I think that whatever the Seahawks are doing is getting a little stale, and they can't be any more creative because they have no running backs.
No.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, the Seahawks are definitely a good team, and I think that they're going to be in the playoffs. And
They're gonna
be a
figure
tough-
it out.
They're the team that you don't want to play in the playoffs. The Cardinals also a great team.
Yeah.
But the team that's winning the West is the Rams.
Think so.
They're complete.
Yeah.
And they can game plan. And as far as the defense goes, I'm not saying that they're the best defense in the NFL, but they're definitely the best defense in that division. And they can score with the other
Do you think Jalen can shut down DeAndre?
I think that if there's anybody in the league, let alone that division, that can, it's definitely him.
Yeah, but it's not just DeAndre. Christian Kirk falls out. Andy Isabella shows flashes.
Yeah.
Right. Who's the Dan Arnold? I think is the tight end there, and he's actually shown a couple. But that's Kyler, I think, making more.
When it comes down to it, the front seven for the Rams is as strong as, like I said, any team in the league.
Yeah.
Take like a team like the Bears who stink, but the Rams are as good as the Bears on defense, and they have an offense.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a scary team. If it wasn't for that bad pass interference call against Buffalo, they're looking at being the leader in the clubhouse right now.
Yeah.
I mean, right now they're tied, and they're going to play each other, and like those games are going to be intense to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that that's the team to look out for in that division.
All right.
They're hitting their stride.
That division as a whole, it's going to be it can be any of those three.
Yeah.
Two of them are getting in. It's that simple.
Right.
I don't know if three can get in now, which we did talk about before.
Yeah.
It still could happen.
I mean, right now, if it wasn't three of them, then you're really going to have to think about like a team like New Orleans if they're going to be able to keep it together, and or Tampa, like one or the other.
Yeah.
And other than that, I mean, there's really only 8 teams in the race right now.
Yeah.
But we'll see how all that goes. A bigger story to me, like something that I've been watching and kind of, I've preached about this. You can go knock on my neighbor's door. Yeah, I've talked about this for 3 years. What is the point of having a quarterback that can't throw the ball?
I think I know who you're talking about with this.
Yeah, and it's Lamar Jackson. And
Yeah.
is he a dynamic athlete? Sure.
Absolutely.
But that's what the Olympics are for. It's not to play quarterback in the AFC North.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Can the guy make a difference? Sure, provided the team is ahead.
Sure. I will agree with you on that. Yeah.
And he can't effectively throw. He has somebody who I think is a pretty talented receiver who he can't get the ball to. Even Mark Andrews. I know there's Jason Kelsey and George Kittle, but like he's as good as those guys are, and he's just not getting the opportunity he's getting. And it all comes down to whether you want to blame it on the coaches or you want to blame it on Lamar. Now, I think that if they don't get this shit together and they're another quick out in the playoffs, Greg Roman's out.
It has
Yes,
to be.
yeah.
It's the most basic offense there
Yeah.
is, and it's starting to really get exposed.
And then, I mean, Harbaugh has a winning experience, so he's going to be around. But how long do you let Lamar Jackson go before you realize that
Well,
he's
you got to
the
pay
actual
him.
problem?
That's
Well,
what the issue is, right? You got to figure out what you want to do. Are you going to pay him this year,
I wouldn't.
or you tag him? You have to tag him.
Well, he's got his fifth year option,
year?
right? Like it's just because he's in his third year, you can start negotiating, and like he could say he's going to hold out, but honestly, let him. You can't give that guy $50 million.
No.
I'm a little bit worried about like the wide receiver core they have there because like I know Marquise Brown is a good receiver.
Is he number one? Or
No, that's what I mean. He did not like.
I don't know. Are we going to talk about number ones again?
Yeah. So I bit the pill on him thinking that he had the pedigree of being Antonio Brown's cousin, so he's going to have the work ethic and maybe ability that Antonio Brown has, but the speed ability that Tyreek almost like
Right,
the speed that he
right.
brought to the table. That's quite the animal to bring into the division. But realistically, the guy hasn't got separation from nearly anybody.
Yeah.
Like, I think almost every throw that I saw, and I know it's against a good DB team in New England and it's in the rain, but
Right.
every throw he was like, there's a corner right here on him, and like you should be able to break free.
Right. Well, and a coach like like the Belichicks, the Tomlins, we'll even say Vrabel to an extent because I think that, and we'll get into Vrabel after, but they have the ability to take something away from a team, and Baltimore doesn't have the ability to go to the next level if you take something away from them. They don't know how to go into another gear. A guy like Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards, you probably don't even need to throw the ball. Honestly, if you were averaging 3.5 yards a carry,
And the
It's
weather
first
last
down.
night, like
Yeah.
that should have been the game.
That's a game that's built for their offense.
280 yards rushing. Just go ahead and do it because you can't pass in this kind of weather, right?
right?
And it didn't look that well.
And the big picture for Baltimore is they're now down 3.5 games to the Steelers in the division. Are they able to come back? Absolutely. They play the Steelers again. Baltimore has what should be this is a must-win for Baltimore. and a must-win for Tennessee. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say like that might be the game. Like if there was ever a Steelers game I wasn't gonna watch, it was gonna be when they play the Jaguars this week.
Just so this guy can friggin' cheer both ways. It doesn't matter if the Titans win or lose.
That's
He's
what I
cheering
had-
one way there,
That's
right?
what I had on Sunday. Like,
Yeah.
I hate the Patriots, but watching the Ravens lose outweighed my hatred for the Patriots. It was kind of nice. But a team like that, or whoever loses that game, I think that they're in real trouble for not even making the playoffs.
Okay.
And we'll get back to that because we do have some AFC playoff talk. Like I don't want to oversaturate, so we'll wait on the AFC playoff talk. But like keep that in mind. And Monday Night Football last night, you know, Chad and I, everyone knows that we run the Going for Two team, and Justin Jefferson got us the win last night.
Yeah, in the clutch.
Yeah, and he had like a 53-yarder to like, I don't know if it was in the third quarter or the fourth quarter. It was late in the game, and it left us like 0.2 points or
The
something.
next play, I'm like, did we get it? He's like, not yet. The next play, we're like, and he did.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then it's like pretty much we stopped watching. But you know, what about the Bears team? And like you were, I'm gonna give you the floor on this because you opened our eyes to a couple Bears stats, and it's time.
Yeah, well, just the one main one that I wanted to point out was that Cordero Patterson, who had a great return. That was awesome to watch last night, the angle they had on everything. He's got more return yards at 787 yards than the entire Bears organization does at 782. How the hell do you run an NFL squad with having more return yards than rushing yards? That's terrible. And in a place like Chicago, an outdoor field, that team should be designed to run the ball, right? So I guess tell your boy who was trying to say that Singletary was a good running back that something's got to change there.
It's Montgomery.
Yeah.
Oh, Montgomery, sorry.
Either way,
Montgomery.
but
Yeah.
He's not a good running back.
Okay. And they're beat up. They have no running backs right now. Cordell Patterson is a running back, which is really crazy. And if you watch him take a handoff last night, he had no idea what he was doing.
He got dragged down and they got offended because he got tackled. Don't tackle me so hard.
At one point, it looked like they were handing the ball to like a practice squad linebacker.
But the crazy part is, I didn't know this. Cordell Patterson, Liam, please look this up because I don't know who the two guys are.
They don't have
He's actually tied now for the all-time leading kickoff return touchdowns with 8.
Yeah, Devin Hester would be the other one, right?
No.
No,
Hester
it
was-
was Leon Washington was one of them.
Leon Washington had 8 total? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I don't remember the other one. But yeah, there's 2 guys there. And I was like, he really, because everybody, my first thought was, well, Devin, they said, oh, he is something. First thing I said, Devin Hester.
He's the punt guy.
And he was a punt return guy, right?
Right.
They had one big one in the Super Bowl.
He did.
Holy
The only rule was don't kick it to Devin Hester.
And they did it off the hop,
Yeah.
didn't they? Idiots.
But yeah, no, so yeah. He's only played in the league for 7 years.
And in 5 of those, he has one that's over 104 yards.
Yeah.
This is Cordero?
Yeah.
Wow. And in really the first 2 years of his career, he did not return kicks because he was like
He was
a
a
first
top pick.
Yeah, he was a top round pick for Minnesota, and he wasn't like he was viewed as don't break the bones, like don't hurt that guy, right? Let him
Right.
return, don't let him return kicks. So that's pretty crazy that he was able to kind of find. Some athletes or some wide receivers just fall away because they don't ever become receivers. Like he's actually able to do something.
And
with
the
it.
cool thing, he was a gunner on punt.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like,
too.
how many guys are first round picks and then put their pride aside and be like, you know what, this is where I'm going to find my home.
That guy went to New England.
That's what I
and
was going to
changed
say.
his life.
New England slapped him around a little bit and said, "This is what you have to do if you want to stay in the league." Right?
And like,
Yeah.
it made a big difference for him, and he's a phenomenal special teams player in this league.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best, I guess. Seeing a guy like that play punt, I'm assuming he probably plays kickoff as too. Most guys do. It's really cool to see how they can just, say I'm not that guy anymore. But you're still contributing. And the fact that you have more return yards than rushing yards for your whole team.
Yeah.
And the sad part is he probably could be the leading rusher too.
Yeah.
They probably wouldn't put him on kickoff because when he returns at 104 yards, he's going to be way too tired to go back out on kickoff. And then they're going to have a return
Also,
back
these are
on.
the size of his neck.
He's just a big man all
Like,
around.
what receiver, like, that guy's, his neck's got to be at least 20 inches.
Yeah.
Like, he was wearing a gold chain that most men wear as a choker last night.
Yeah.
Like, Akeem Talib, you
was
ain't
looking at
snatching
him, yeah,
that.
he was ready to
He's like,
take
Akeem
him out.
Talib
Oh.
was not snatching that chain, I'll tell you
There's
that
no
right
way
now.
he'd be able to get his finger in there to
No.
rip that thing off.
So what did you think? Because leading up to that game, you were saying that there was probably we were talking about changes in offensive scheme and philosophy. What did you think? Are they going in the right direction? Was it a lot of the same? Is this just a wash season for them now?
So I think that the way that they design their run game is really piss poor, and I'm not going to get too boring on like the actual plays that they're running, but they aren't running plays to their skill set, and that is what's making them an ineffective team.
Mhm.
And the fact that they continue to Every single play, they're shooting receivers down the field like 10, 15 yards, and they're not giving Foles. Like, if your O-line can't block the run game, they probably can't pass pro either.
Sure.
And if you continue to run guys down the field, how do you expect it? Like, it doesn't matter if it's Trubisky or Foles or Tyler Bray or if Nagy wants to go out and throw a couple passes. If you continue to run routes like that, you're screwed. So I honestly thought that bringing this other guy in, who used to coach in Cincinnati, so like I knew him a little bit, I thought that he would find some outlet receivers.
Yeah.
And I actually expected that your boy Cole Kmet and Jimmy Graham were going to light it up. I thought it was going to be a tight end game.
So what happens now? Mitch comes in and wins a couple games. Because now
Well, he's injured too, so I don't even know if he can play.
Yeah, I don't think.
So too?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Tyler Bray's team. Well, I don't even know because today they said that Foles wasn't even seriously injured, so I don't know if it's a
He
one.
looked pretty beat up on that card last
Well, that's what I thought. Yeah, it looked like a big hip injury. The way he got tackled down, the way he was sitting real gingerly on his left cheek there. So it looks to me like it was going to be some time. But yeah, maybe it's just a week, maybe it's 2. But realistically, like, I don't even think it matters. Like, that team is going to have to overhaul, many areas, maybe even including the coach. Realistically, right?
Yeah, I mean, you start 5-1, you lose 4 straight. You essentially, by losing yesterday, you've eliminated yourself from playoff contention.
And began losing when you upheaved the starting quarterback who was winning.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah, and like for the Bears, I think it's time we can bury them. I know we have a couple Bears fans that watch. Sorry, you got off to a good start. I want to say you're a good story, but you really weren't. And it was a poor decision made by Nagy to switch off Trubisky in the first place.
Yeah.
Even when everyone thought Nick Foles was the better quarterback. Doesn't
year.
matter.
3-0.
It doesn't
It's that
matter
simple.
if Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or Ben Roethlisberger. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is in Chicago right now until they fix their play calling and their actual scheming. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean that's pretty much that's our burying the Bears. But
Bear down.
in another way, we're gonna resurrect the Minnesota Vikings because I'm not saying that they have a great chance to make the playoffs.
It provides a lot of Kirk not screwing some things.
But
Man, that guy sucks at football.
they showed their next few games on, and there's a very realistic chance that they're going to be 7-5
Yeah.
after the next 3 weeks. And if you're 7-5, and then you can piece it together, and if you go on a run here and you finish 10-6 or 11-5, you're making a case to get in there.
Yeah, and they did some unique things last night. They were blitzing a lot more than I think I've seen in the past. Harrison Smith was in on blitzes, which I know he's done.
Harrison Smith, he looked good.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely showed a different thing to me, a different avenue anyway to me last night.
Which I wonder if Mike Zimmer's not stepping back in and saying, "We're doing this my way."
Yeah.
Like as a head coach, sometimes you take us. We talked about this last week with Nagy on the other side, taking a step back, not to call. Now is Mike Zimmer saying, "Hey, I'm voicing my opinion.
Right.
I'm not you still call the defense, but I will veto you at any chance."
Right. And and I mean, whether the Vikings get themselves back in, I think that they have reasserted themselves to get a little bit more competitive. And they have a good formula if they can get Jefferson wide open. Because that guy was wide open
Well,
a lot.
off the play action, right?
Yeah.
They have to have a play action.
And
attack.
yeah,
You
having
have to
Dalvin-
respect Dalvin.
And I think that they are probably best off using Matheson, whatever, a little bit more than they have been. Just as like a change of pace, just so that Dalvin doesn't get banged up. Because he did get banged up again.
Did you see the look on Zimmer's face when he went down?
Oh, yeah.
When he took the ball in the nuts.
Yeah.
The
But
point of the ball.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
But I sat there and was like, "Oh no, there goes my fantasy season."
yeah.
And I was like,
fantasy, you don't even think about Zimmer going, oh no.
"No,
Yeah.
I know, but he's on Zimmer's team too."
Yeah.
Zimmer drafted him first round.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing, and we both of our hearts just sank. There goes our guy.
Yeah.
And then I watched the replay. I'm like, "Oh, he's fine.
Yeah.
He just took that shit right in the nuts."
Yeah.
If they can definitely keep the run game going, get Jefferson open up the play action. Like I was mentioning the blitzing there, I think that what they realize is they do not have the pass rush they did last year.
Right.
And with Daniil Hunter being gone too, you've got to do some other things, and that means bring the heat a little bit. Anthony Barr wasn't even there.
Well, he's out.
Yeah.
Preseason, I think. Now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this season.
it's just
But
crazy
You
that
got
we still able to
rid of the one who they were running from Jacksonville. 'Cause
Yeah,
he wasn't,
yeah.
he wasn't doing nothing for them.
And he really hasn't done anything for the Ravens either. I think that they realized that they bought a bad case of potatoes and they sent it back.
Like, what does that show? What he's been done in Jacksonville, right? Like, was that front four just that good? Like, he just never got any looks.
Well, it very well could be. It's an animal front four they had at that time frame. It's not that Yannick's not a good player by any means, but I also don't think that then Minnesota used him appropriately. He was specifically an edge rusher on passing downs rather than every down. And then the Ravens don't stand him up. And like, what is going on?
His hands should be at all times.
At all any given time, like don't put him up, stand him up.
I told you, and I told you guys this last week. Like, something's weird in Baltimore for Lamar Jackson to come out and say that the defense is calling our plays at the line. Something's off there. It's not. They're not having their magical little season that they thought they were going to have.
Darn,
look at the shit-eating grin over there, eh?
The fairy dust has worn off.
Was that meme of Lamar just putting the shades on now?
Yeah, I mean, but we'll go to the we've killed Lamar.
Happy though. Like,
we
you're not
killed-
going to stop.
And we killed the Bears. So we're gonna let a dead dog lie for a second and talk about Justin Herbert,
Amazing.
who, he's gonna be a superstar.
Yeah.
And no matter how bad they are, Anthony Lynn is not getting fired.
Yeah, I don't understand how they're losing games down there because I really, to be honest, I've only been able to catch like red zone highlights. But like, he's fun to watch. The offense is complete. It doesn't need any adjustments on offense. And Anthony Lynn, like, just get your defense in order, man. Keep a game together. They've had how many leads this year they've lost?
Right.
4 or 5.
Yeah, like they seem to be able to take a jump ahead. And I mean, is it are we just seeing that?
Since we're jumping ahead, I would say jump ahead right now. Order your pizza and wings for the Turkey Bowl.
Okay.
Because if you pre-order for Joe Cool's,
cool. Yeah, all right.
yeah, they appreciate it.
Yeah, okay.
They want to know.
Gotta call in.
Yeah, you have to call that. You have to call in your pre-orders, but they're going to deliver all day.
Lovely.
Okay. I have a one-track mind, by the way.
Yeah, so do I. And I just completely lost where I was going with that.
Justin Herbert.
Yeah, Justin Herbert's an absolute animal. The defense needs to get fixed down there. They don't need to change anything on offense. If you continue just to build around the defense appropriately, they need a pass rusher down there for sure. That's really hurting them. But yeah, jumping ahead in games. Jumping ahead against the Chiefs was big earlier this year to lose it. I mean, that's just what a young team does. So we're starting to see Herbert play more, man. He's at 66% or 67%.
Yeah, he's making me look like an idiot.
Yeah, you didn't think... Well, I'll be honest, Oregon, man. I did not trust anybody coming out of Oregon.
Me and Shane had this talk last year.
We murdered that guy.
Watched it as the Rose Bowl we watched him in.
It's the Pac-12 championship.
Oh, yeah. Man, like, this guy didn't have a life when we were done with him.
And he just kept running the ball.
And I was like, this guy's not ready for the NFL. He doesn't pass the ball. He doesn't have the arm. He's not reading anything. Like, he's not even that fast.
Yeah.
And he's running the ball, and I was like, this guy's not going to make it. Well, Justin Herbert, you can tell, like, you owe me a fuck you, and I'll take it like a man. Like, if you want to chime in, call in, DM us, text me personally, you can just give me the big old middle finger emoji, and I'll take it, because you showed everything that you can do to prove me wrong, and cheers to you, man. I'll give you that.
I'm assuming he's 21, right?
Yeah.
So we could definitely get him a Holy Roller beer.
We could get him a Holy Roller beer.
Which is being sold exclusively at Joe Cool's in Toboggan, and all the proceeds are going to repairing that big tank.
To restoring the Holy Roller.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's where it got the name from.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, right.
Yeah, we didn't make it up.
All right.
Yeah. So it's a special brew. It's exclusive there.
Yeah.
We tried to get some on the show, and they said no chance.
That's draft only in-house.
Yeah.
So, Justin Herbert, we cannot send you that.
Yeah. No, we'll get it across the board. Don't worry.
We'll get him a keg.
Yeah,
He's earned it.
If he messages us, we'll get it for him. That's not a problem. But yeah, we're gonna let Chad take this one because this is one that is gonna be near and dear to his heart. And our boy Drew Bree playing with cracked ribs, broke some more ribs. Now your boy Jameis is in there. Talk to us about it.
So first off, the report on Drew Brees is I think it was 5 broken ribs.
Yep. On both
On 2
sides.
different sides.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
like 3 and 2,
Ugh.
and a punctured lung. First off, they're saying 2 to 3 weeks. You know, I need to know who your doctor is.
That chick we were watching whatever NFL Live yesterday, and she kept saying like sharp edges. I was like so disgusted by it. Like,
Were you feeling them inside your
Yeah,
body?
Yeah, and she wouldn't stop saying it. But yeah,
And so, like, he's out 2 to 3 weeks. I don't know how he's going to throw a ball, but that being said, Ray Lewis took a whole lot of shots of deer antler, and he played with a torn elbow, and they rebuilt his whole arm. So
yeah,
I guess there's special doctors in the NFL.
yeah.
Outside of him, though, like outside of how Drew's going to come back in general.
Jameis?
Oh, fucking Jameis.
Oh my!
I think this is his audition. And I think this is kind of Sean Payton's way of almost like, hey, Drew, it's not you.
Crowd
It's
takes
me.
in football. That's what Jameis does.
I think as far as their best chance to win, he is that guy.
Okay.
Taysom Hill isn't that guy.
No.
You can't win football games with a guy like Taysom Hill. He is a utility player, a very overpaid utility player. Jameis has to be the guy to go in, but I think
Do you think he has to pay for his own helmet?
Taysom Hill,
It's a
100%.
big ass helmet, man.
Dude, that guy's face is like this long. But yeah, Jameis, like, he has to get it done. He has 3 weeks to get it done. If he goes in there and goes 1-2, see ya. If he goes in and goes 3-0 and shows some flashes of what I think what Tampa always wanted him to be, which he didn't live up to the hype. He turned the ball over way too much for my liking. But in a system like Sean Payton's, where like it's very quarterback friendly.
Yeah.
Drew Brees is 100% a Hall of Famer. I'm not going to say I'm not going to knock his career because he's been phenomenal. But Drew Brees wasn't Drew Brees before he got to New Orleans.
Right.
And I'm not saying Jameis is going to be that guy, but I think he can kickstart his career all over again.
Okay.
The arm talent that he has is very good.
So if he comes out and plays at least average, like, do they ever let him out of New
No.
Orleans?
Even now, here was my next question with that. If he comes out and plays even remotely average or even far above average,
You can't go
does
goal.
Breeze see the field again?
Yes.
You can't play 3 quarterbacks. So if you have a quarterback that comes in over the next 5 weeks and he throws 12 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, do you sit him on the bench as the third and he'll never
100%
see
you
the
do.
I don't know.
That is Drew Brees at City.
While I agree with you, it's
You
not going to.
can't-
You were just saying before the show, it's not going to be after this year.
After this year, 100 Drew's out the door this year.
So could it be like a Nick Foles, Carson Wentz thing though, where he gets him to the playoffs, he gets him in there, and you've got great numbers.
The same thing happened in Denver with Peyton and Brock.
Yeah, I mean, what if they were able to find a way for Drew to go out quietly, like with some class, and just like,
Hey,
Jameis
your rib is
lights it
still
up,
broken.
and they're like, hey, this is what we're doing, but you could say this and just retire right now, and like everyone's gonna love him.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like Peyton is such a player's coach, and him and Drew have such a connection. Can he, in reality, make that decision?
Not a chance.
Let's just go and say that it's an astronomical number. They have 15 touchdowns and 4 interceptions because it's an air raid type offense, and Jameis is going to take shots. So if he goes out there and does that, can you just say no? Drew, you're the third now.
Hey, Jameis, thanks for your service. We'll pay in the offseason.
Well,
If that's what it comes down
or
to.
Carolina might.
Yeah.
Or the Bears.
Teddy Bridgewater. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. If you're Jameis,
You're going to go the highest bidder.
yeah, exactly. So if you're Jameis and they stick with you, then I think that buys you some goodwill for next year. And you're like, you know, like the coach believed in me. He put a fucking Hall of Famer on the bench for me.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not going to.
But if you light it up, yeah. Well,
He could go
whether
to
they do
Washington
it,
and eat W's all the
yeah,
time, right?
yeah. Whether they do it or not, I think that his future in general is definitely it's dependent on the next 4 days, or
Yeah.
4 games.
Which is
5
cool.
games.
Like I'm excited to see that as far as like as watching it aired out all the time.
Do I think that he's going to have such tremendous numbers that the Drew Brees thing's even going to be a controversy? No, not really.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just trying to add some little stir to the
Yeah.
fire, you know?
But he could. I mean, they could still win all the games.
Yeah.
They could go 3 or 4-0. I do believe that.
And think about it this way. Let's just say he plays average and they win all those games. Drew comes out and throws 2 interceptions.
You put in the third and then
Or-
say goodbye, Drew, for the game?
Or he
what?
underthrows a couple balls. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
luckily there's no crowd there.
Yeah.
Or you flip it. Jameis goes and plays lights out.
Yep.
They win the division. They have a first-round home game. And Jameis shits the bed in the playoffs with Drew on the bench. How the fuck do you explain that to your fan base? And now Drew Brees is gone.
I can tell you one thing. I am happy to drink Holy Roller, and then I'm not Sean Payton.
Yeah, it's a really difficult decision to be made here.
I
the
feel
next
like
few weeks.
that's 2-0 for me.
I don't think there's a hard decision to make here.
No?
And this isn't my hatred for Jameis. This is just strictly being a football fan.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can't not go back to Drew Brees. And I think he knows that.
It's kind of like-
If he thought his job was in jeopardy,
Yeah.
I bet you he plays last night.
It's kind of like deciding whether you're going to get a pizza or a nacho from Joe Cool's. Because they're both delicious, and they both might satisfy your need. But if you were to bundle those together with wings, then they have a combo for that. Apparently it's called the Going for 2 combo. You have to talk to Amy, though.
So you're telling me that Jameis Winston is delicious?
Maybe.
Now, here's my worry with Drew. When they talk about the 2 or 3 weeks, he's a small guy as it is, small in stature, right? And he takes a lot of body motion in all of his throws, and there's a lot of torque in the midsection.
That's the thing. I don't think he's coming back in 3 weeks.
And even if he does come back in 3 to 4 or 5 weeks, do you have all the strength in your core there to be whipping the ball? He already lost quite a bit of his arm strength in the last couple of years.
Yeah,
He's going to be losing more.
He's not forcing that ball down the field, though. Like that, he doesn't play that game. It's not their game with him.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one of those things where he's not losing his job. I think there's no debate here. I don't even know why we're so in-depth talking about this. Besides the fact that you guys just know I fucking hate James.
That's what it is. We get the most chat out of you here. Well, we can go on to the next one.
Crap kicks in football.
Yeah.
That's what Jameis does.
I won't even talk about real hatred for Jameis because it is not going for too friendly.
Yeah. Whoa.
And we let a lot of things slide on this show.
Whoa.
I'm stuck on microphones here. There's a micro down there. I don't like
Yeah,
it.
you almost fucking pulled me forward.
You liked it. Get over here.
I told him.
Yeah. Whether it happens or not, who knows? But the main event for you, let's talk about Tom Brady because we've talked about him a lot. We've killed him. We've said he's the man. Tell us what you see because you're a Bucs fan, so I think that we're kind of seeing the same thing though.
Do I like Tom Brady? Yes. Is he a better option than Jameis Winston? Fucking yes.
No doubt about it.
My big concern is where he's played bad. Played bad in New York. I was not English. Yeah. Played bad. Fuck no, I lost my
Chicago.
Chicago. Cold weather, yeah. And then he played bad when we had our fucking tropical storm.
Yeah.
He's 43 years old. We're old.
I feel the weather.
Yeah, I mean, like, we're only 30. Like, we're in our early 30s.
It snowed today. It sucked.
Yeah.
My hips are hurting.
So
Dress shoes are not made for snow, by the way.
yeah, no, they're not. Payne had the same issue in Denver. So with Tom Brady, if we can stay like in a warm climate, then we don't get a really damp day in Tampa. Do I believe in Tom Brady 100%? If we have to go into Green Bay or Seattle in fucking January, we're done.
Right.
It's that simple. If we go down to New Orleans and play in a dome, I'm actually not worried.
Well, look at it this way. Like, this is like it just popped into my mind because right now the Saints have a lead in the division.
I thought you were going to say Joe Cool's comment.
No.
I thought for sure. This just popped in my mind. Joe Cool's delivers. That's where I thought this was going.
Usually it does. But let's just say the Saints go ahead and win the division.
Yep.
Okay, fine. There's no doubt about it that Philly is going to be the bottom, or whoever wins the NFC.
Yeah, they're the bottom. They're the 4th seed.
Now Tampa sits right under them. So if you're Tampa, are you afraid to go to Philly, Washington, or New York in January? I think so, right?
100%.
Honestly.
How scary is that? Just say that. That's
no, I know, right? But like, it is realistic.
He hasn't performed against those teams in the climate, and maybe that's why New England just let him walk. They saw the writing on the wall.
Honestly, if Dallas were able to pull it together and they were hosting the playoff game against Brady, I would open up all the fucking windows. Because like, it's still going to be cold in Dallas at that time, man.
We don't have fans anyways. It ain't for them.
Yeah, Dallas? Yeah, right. They're going to be sold out.
Jerry Jones didn't give a fuck.
No, but yeah, as far as Tom Brady, I was like, I've been on the Tom Brady train the whole time, but I do have my concerns about him.
Yeah.
And I said last week, I think if I'm the Buccaneers, and after what I saw the last couple of weeks from Tom, thank you for your service. This is what have you done for me now. I'm not going to give you that second year.
I'm not sure it's up to that. It's probably guaranteed, isn't it?
It's guaranteed, but fuck it.
Just give him the $25 million and
Let
tell
him
him
walk.
to kick rocks.
Yeah.
Let's just hope he
There are
adjusts.
some really good quarterbacks out there that are available who are literally half his age.
Yeah.
And I would be saying, hey, man, come down to South Beach. You don't pay tax down here.
Yeah. Jameis already has a house down there.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
We ain't going back.
Could you imagine?
You know, that'd be
Good
crazy.
God.
Man, I might have to, I think I've always made fun of guys that burn jerseys. I don't have a Jameis Winston jersey,
I'll buy one for Christmas.
but I will literally burn every other Tampa jersey I've ever bought if they go and do something.
I was going to say,
fucking
like, I've definitely, like, Big Fudge is a Tampa fan, but him and I went to the Bucs game. And I was going to say, I thought it was a Jameis, but it was definitely a Josh Freeman.
Josh Freeman, yeah.
throwing it back.
Yeah,
eh?
Yeah.
Who was the other two there? Brian Greasy? I think he was
Brian
two.
Greasy
I
was there.
think
Sean
Brian-
King was back in the day.
Sean King, yeah.
Yeah, that guy still has nightmares about Chad
Was he?
Scott
Was he?
running
No, that was
the
Freeman that was
back
deaf
six.
in one ear, right? I think that was Freeman that was deaf in one ear.
I think so,
Yeah.
He's also blind. Fuck, he was I know Jameis came out and said he was blind.
Oh, lordy.
Fuck, Josh Freeman couldn't hit he couldn't hit water if he fell out of a fucking boat.
Yeah. God.
You're a first round pick and you didn't even get a fucking second contract.
Yeah, I was there. I watched the Bucks beat the Saints. It was the Jimmy Graham when he broke Sean Payton's leg.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, when I guess Bucks never really had to worry about the playoffs, right? I guess we can get into the playoff conversation.
Yeah, you get there sometimes.
Yeah,
it's like a fucking solar eclipse every couple of years we go by.
Let's talk about that AFC playoff picture because there's a lot of teams in the mix.
I feel like I'm watching like a college top 25. You know what I mean?
And what's crazy about it is how many teams are in the mix that haven't been for so long.
Yeah.
And, Steelers 9-0, whatever, top seed, no big whoop. Or is it? Chiefs 8-1.
We expect them to be it.
Yeah. When it's all said and done, will the Chiefs have more wins than the Steelers? I think it'd be close. Whatever. I think they're both going to be around 13-3. No big, whatever. Then it starts to get interesting because the Colts are in a fight with the Titans. Mm-hmm. They definitely have the hammer right now. And they have to play again in Indy.
Yep.
So, looking at the Titans' schedule coming up, and don't worry, guys, we're not going to let them go on for that long. But look at the Titans' schedule coming up. Baltimore. You have to go to Cleveland. It's Baltimore Colts and then Cleveland, right?
Yeah, exactly what it is,
I was speaking at it last night, and then when I was looking at it, it looked like there was only 2 games where you guys are actually going to be the favorite to win. So that puts you at 8-8.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you were to squeeze out one of the games that you weren't supposed to win, 9-7. That's not doing it, eh?
He's not. For once, he's not been addicted.
Yeah,
I get what he's saying. We got 3 straight playoff matchups coming up right now in the middle of the season. Right?
For sure,
is the best way to describe it. And whereas you said that the winner of the Colts, Titans, the loser probably is making the playoffs.
Yep.
I think that's more likely to happen with like the Browns and the Titans game that comes up later down the road.
Well, yeah, and I think that your next 3 games could essentially be looked at as elimination games, depending how the next one would go. But can the Titans stay focused enough to beat Baltimore? I don't know. Honestly,
Calais Campbell's not there. Brandon Williams ain't there. And they were gashing the shit out of the Ravens when they lost those 2 players.
That is not the Baltimore team that people think that it is.
Yeah.
I said it last week. Something's wrong in Baltimore. I don't know what it is. I don't know how they're going to fix it. But I don't think that Baltimore is going to be the heavy favorite in the game. They will be favored. Colts, I don't think that you guys are going to beat the Colts at the RCA Dome. I think you had your chance at home and you blew it. And
they pump sound in there, by the way.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
So, I think for you guys to have a realistic shot at winning the division and making the playoffs, you need to win 2 of the next 3.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I think that we can beat. I think we beat the Ravens. I don't because in the middle of the.
That probably puts you at 10-6 by the end of the year.
Yeah. It's tight. I really think it's going to come down to that Browns and Titans game in Week 3 because, yes, I don't know what is going to happen against the Colts. I can't call that game right now. I do think that we can beat the Ravens, but it comes down to that game, the Titans and the Browns, and whoever wins that one, I think it goes on to take the last wild card spot.
Yeah, and I think the tough part of for the Colts is you guys can't generate a pass rush, and if there's no pass rush, then Phillip Rivers can
do whatever he wants.
Yeah, they can dunk around the field.
Yeah.
And the Browns can definitely play a little bit of defense. I don't know. When it comes down to you guys have to play the Packers too, right?
Yeah, my logic, what I'm thinking here is that I think that the Dolphins are going to leapfrog the Bills. I think eventually they're going to take over that AFC East.
Okay.
That's where I was going to go next with this. What happens in that division? For once, it's not the Bill Belichick show.
Yeah. Well, I think the Dolphins are on their way. Everything they're showing me defense and offensively, they're on their way. And
think of our lifetime as football fans, and I mean early 90s is what it is.
Ace Ventura was about the last time I remember the Dolphins being good.
I mean the last time the Dolphins and the Bills played a relevant game.
Yeah, really.
And they have a couple coming up, right?
Yeah.
Because they haven't played each other yet.
Nope.
I don't think.
And that's what I mean. I think the Dolphins can leapfrog the Bills there, and we beat the Bills, so we would have that one up on the Bills, and that's where I think we can make it in over the Bills potentially. That could be a crazy upset if we make it in over the Bills. God, Bills Mafia would be pissed, wouldn't they?
Yeah. They would
After
be
make them wait 2 weeks for a friggin' game, we beat them anyway in a short week or in a no practice on a Tuesday night, and then we knock them out of the playoffs. That'd be a rough season.
And it would all come back to the
Music City Miracle.
the Cardinals game.
Oh yeah, well yeah. Oh my god.
Because like if they had won that game, then I mean,
They wouldn't be talking like this.
Yeah, it's a different position.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean the AFC playoff picture is crazy. Only team we really didn't talk about there was the Raiders. But I think that the Raiders,
I think they're just a wild card team that's going to sneak in under the radar, and
Yeah.
they just do all the like. They don't do nothing flashy. There's nothing sexy about them.
they figured out defense. They run the ball. Derek Carr, he's capable.
Well, they remind me of an Alabama team. They just run successfully. They have decent defenders that are in the right spot at the right time, but they don't do anything that's going to shock you like to death. Right? It's just fundamental football is what John Gruden's teaching down there for sure.
And like he's getting the horses to do it, and he's going to ride them. And
People like Hunter friggin' Renfro. Like I never thought the guy was actually going to produce in the NFL. Like I thought he was going to be a mid-tier slot receiver for his entire career. And he's not like an amazing receiver, but the fact that his name is mentioned.
He's just another option there, right?
Yeah.
Like, he gets open.
well, there's so much speed on the outside, right? I mean, it's easy underneath.
Yeah.
Nelson Angler's like,
So,
wow.
I mean, if we're looking at, I don't know, if we're looking at the top 9, like we're just gonna count the Patriots out for now because
Yeah, I only put him in there just because I felt like, hey, there's still a conversation as the Pats.
yeah. So right now we'll just say because it's for wildcard purposes, we know who's winning the division at the moment.
Yep.
If it came down to it, everything being the same, pick 3: Raiders, Dolphins, Browns, Ravens, Titans.
Raiders,
Yeah.
Dolphins, Titans.
Okay. I'm going Dolphins, Ravens, Titans. I think the Ravens are going over the Browns.
Yeah, and I would only agree with that because I know that the Ravens play well against them, and they would definitely hold the tiebreaker and when it comes down to it. But yeah, I mean, I think Ravens, Raiders, Dolphins. That's the way that I look at it.
God, he loves just twisting the fucking knife, doesn't he?
Well,
Just he's been doing this every week, just a little bit deeper, and now he's fucking.
I thought that I was pretty respectful today.
That's because you were respectful right up until that point when you hit me with that. I thought you were going to say the Titans.
I didn't even put your neck on the end of the bed. This was consensual.
You initialed once on the back rail.
But yeah, we'll let you be. We'll go on to one of our more fun things that we do every show.
Yeah.
And it's our offensive pest, defensive exterminator, presented by the Bug Guys of London.ca. And you know, I haven't gone first for a while, so I'm gonna go first. And as far as defensive exterminators go, there's nobody other than Jalen Ramsey.
I agree with
That
that.
guy lied leading up to that game. He told the reporters and everybody he wasn't going to be covering that.
He only took 30 snaps with him, though.
Only.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's about half, right?
That's about half.
I don't know how many
So,
offensive snaps they had, but
Usually you get about 60.
Okay.
well, he said he ran 30 routes against them. So I mean, I don't know how many times they ran the ball. Honestly, I didn't watch a lot of that game. I watched the condensed tape afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Metcalf, even when he was open, I don't know. He was just out of range of getting the throw, or he broke away too late. And Ramsey did his job. I mean, 2 catches, 28 yards. That guy, we were anointing him as the next Hall of Fame receiver getting his gold jacket. Like, what's
Not on
that
this show
mean,
we were,
you know?
by the way. Everybody else was. This show was not giving him that fucking.
Yeah.
But that being said, we also didn't give Jalen his love either. So
Yeah. So I think that Jalen, that might have been the best game I've ever seen him play since he left the Jaguars.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. What are you going with, buddy?
I think it's the guy that outjumped the world this week.
Oh, Mr. Jumpman himself.
Yeah. He had a quiet game as far as his standards would go. I think going into that final drive. But at the end of the day, it just came down to I'm going to put the ball in my best player's hands. I actually don't think that was the original route. I think they were trying to get the ball out, get out of bounds to actually help their Hail Mary chance on the next play.
Right.
But yeah, Kyler made a move and it worked. Because he almost got fucking dragged down there.
Yeah.
With the world's shortest legs, that guy can fucking move. Jesus Christ. He looks like a fucking toddler running away from his parents with candy. That's the only way I can describe him. But yeah, no, D-Hop probably had one of his least effective games, which is crazy. I think that going into that drive, so had 6 catches.
Yeah.
For 80 yards.
Yeah.
And that's a bad game, I guess, in his world. But when the game was on the line, they put the ball up to him, and he did what they brought him there for.
Yeah.
And I know 30 seconds before Stephon Diggs said, "This is why you paid me." D-Hop, what was his exact quote?
This is what you traded for me.
Yeah.
Was that twice?
Only the really could make that catch was I, and he tapped his own head or something like
yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
He
He talked about making a poster out of those three guys.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I literally told Chin, I said, when I was playing football once, I said I went and jumped up for a ball, and I had a guy jump up and reach over top of me. And I'm going to show my age here. I came back to the sideline and got told, you got put on an upper deck card. And, like, that's literally what happened last night. He out-jumped three guys, and those guys are going to be on... They're going to be, like, I guess nowadays they're going to be some kid's fucking fathead.
Yeah.
But... he was the man of the hour last night, or this weekend, I shouldn't say last night, but the weekend. And after a play like that, probably the play of the year, I think it has to be at this point. So that's where I'm going with this in the past, is D-Hop out jumping everybody.
Yeah. It's a shame we don't get to see his touchdown, his signature touchdown celebration with his mom all the time now, eh? With the crowds not being able to be out there.
She wouldn't find him anyways.
The worst. Well, I think we're going to do another first here. I'm going to give you the offensive pass story coming from the exact same team. So it's the first time I think we've done that. But I think I'm going with Kyler Murray again. Back-to-back weeks for myself. I think that he played over 200 yards, again 60 yards and a couple rushing touchdowns. He willed his team back into that. And at the end there, I mean, everybody makes fun of Murray's height. He's 5'9" and some odd inches. Like, he's a quarter inch shorter than I am, and yet he looks like he's the smallest person on the field, right? And he is the smallest person on the field, but I don't know if you saw how he celebrated the touchdown or saw it, but after he threw it, he was kind of getting pushed around in the scrum and just decided, I'm not going to be able to see anybody because Big Brother's pushing me, so just turned and watched the Jumbotron from this side. So that's how we got to celebrate it, which is kind of unique, but he's just amazing. I think the way the kid's playing for his height, for the limitations that people said he had coming out of college, the fact that he chose the NFL over the MLB, too, that was a big move. He proven the haters wrong, and he's proven the people who said he was going to do well right, so I love watching him.
Yeah, well, there you go. I mean, you guys are obviously on the same page with it, so I mean, everyone wants the same game.
I gotta stop standing beside you. You're sucking into this Cardinals giant.
The 4 o'clock games are pretty intense, but you know, thanks to the bug guys at London.ca, that comes to you every week. Yeah, I mean, we're rolling in. It's Thursday Night Football, and
what a matchup.
We back-to-back weeks are for first place.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun game to watch between the Cards and the Seahawks. The Seahawks got a rough defense still, cannot stop the ball at all. But like the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th corner out there, I don't know.
Jamal Adams sucks.
What's going on there? Like,
yeah.
You're a PFF guy or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And I saw it today. He's ranked 70-something out of 90.
He's terrible. And he came out today talking about how he was battling depression in New York. And I feel bad. Like, I'm not going to sit here knocking him for the depression thing, but like, you can't be doing much better over here in Seattle as far as, like, I know your team's winning. You guys are horrible. You're the reason that your team is even remotely.
You have an MVP quarterback.
Close games,
you guys cannot fucking stop anybody.
Well, you were mentioning earlier, you said that Seattle was a good team, and I almost kind of half laughed to myself because shit, they are not. If it wasn't Russell and 2 wide receivers, and Tyler Lockett didn't even practice today, so I don't know whether he's going to be playing or not on Thursday. But if they didn't have those 2 receivers and Russell Wilson, would this team even be close to 500? I don't think they would.
I think they get spanked.
Yeah, like Bobby Wagner's a name, and he's definitely shows up 7 or 8 times in a game, but that's it. There's nobody else.
There's no help anywhere else, right? You just have a key on him, and you can take him out of the game.
Well, it reminds me of like Bob Sanders back when he won the MVP or the Defensive Player of the Year, or whatever, for Indy. He was like the best player in a rough defense, and he kind of stood out as a result, right? So I think Wagner's standing out. But yeah, Jamal Adams just completely disappeared. I thought going into the season we talked about, the guy never had to have a pick for the rest of the year, and people would consider him to be one of the best safeties in the league. I don't know anymore. I just don't know.
He's not even close at it.
Yeah, like I still love Jamal Adams, and I think that he still can continue to pick it back up, but. Something's got to happen, and maybe it's the pass rush. Like when you see secondary problems, 9 times out of 10, it's the pass rush not getting there, and that's what's happening in Tennessee, and that's what we're getting nickeled and dimed with the friggin' field, right? So maybe that's all it is. A safety can only cover so much field. But,
and they're also missing Shaquille Griffin too, right? Their best corner. So
yeah,
like, I get that, and he's maybe getting put on an island out there in the middle of the field. He's trying to do too much, but I think this week, I think they washed the floor with them.
Yeah.
It's either going to be a shootout or it's going to be a beatdown.
I think it's going to be close, but I think Arizona comes back with the win. Again, at division games, I can never say it's going to be a blowout or anything.
So you guys are both on Arizona?
Yeah.
Seahawks. They're the home team.
Yeah.
They're not going to lose another game in a row. Pete Carroll's going to get them hyped up. The defense isn't going to be good, but I have a feeling that it's not going to have to be. Whatever that means. I mean, if I was a betting person, I would take the over, whatever it is.
I think it's going to be a shootout. I do believe that.
Yeah. But the way that the Seahawks lost to the Cardinals the last time they played, and the way that they just got pushed around by the Rams, it's time for a wake-up call. And I'm going to say that the Seahawks answer the call.
Oof. It's so tough to look for that wake-up call in division. Good luck to you. Not
short,
really.
Short week of the home team.
Yeah. Could happen.
Yeah.
They can't run the ball and they can't stop anybody.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's going to be the deciding factor.
Yeah. But,
That's why we play the games, all right? So
we'll see. Next week when we make our pick for Thursday night, we're going to be on a special location. I don't know if are we saying it yet?
not yet.
We have a contest
top,
ongoing,
yeah.
so make sure that you're paying
It
attention.
is top secret.
Yeah. But we definitely won't be at Joe Cool's. That's for sure. We definitely won't be eating delicious pizza and drinking Holy Roller. I can tell you that much for sure.
All right, if you guys haven't figured out, we will be at Joe Cool's next week.
Great secret, guys. Great secret.
This is why we don't tell Shane anything.
Yeah, I'm bad at Christmas time.
Yeah, no, next Wednesday we'll be live at Joe Cool's prepping for the Turkey Bowl. It's a big day of football.
Not live. We're going to be shooting from Joe Cool's. And then putting
Coming
this-
to you from Joe Cool's.
That one.
Yeah, what he said. Listen
Yeah.
to that guy behind the camera.
Thanks, producer.
He's like, these fucking morons.
Yeah. I told them the whole time, don't say live. They said it anyway.
It's a good thing I don't pay these assholes.
But yeah, keep an eye out for that. We got lots of guests coming on. We have a former CFL player coming on.
Current CFL player.
Oh, current, sorry.
Yeah.
Current. And our boy, the pepper grinder himself, is going to be back. Mike Darling.
The man, the myth,
The
the legend.
darling.
Yeah.
The darling, huh? I love him.
That guy will live on forever.
Yeah.
Two-handed McTwist, pepper grinder.
Only
Yeah.
because Amy's still using it.
Yeah, she used it in a conversation the other day.
And yeah. So, make sure check out our videos on Facebook. We got pictures on Instagram. The podcast is on Spotify or anywhere you can see it.
We're fucking horse.
We're loving the comments. There's been a few
Yeah.
comments lately. We love having a chat with you guys, talking football, talking whatever, man. So if you want to chirp. We
Yeah.
seem to be getting a lot of that, so keep it coming.
I'm mostly Titans fans. Chirp the Titans.
Yeah.
Leave my box out
Cheers
of this.
empty, so we'll cheers it up and we'll be out.